Okay, let's see. I am live, so are you on yet?
Okay, I see you.
Let's see.
I see you.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Do you see anything in your lower right hand?
I go to.
Hi, Jen. Trying to get my speaker on, so give me a sec. Ah, there you are, Marissa. Okay. So let me see.
I'm trying to see where I need to.
Let's see. Do you see in the lower right hand corner where it might say ask to join?
It doesn't.
Can't find it?
Not on the right hand corner. I'm going.
Okay. Bear with me for a second, Jen. We're getting this together.
Okay, maybe. Can you invite me?
I am trying to do that. Let's see. I am trying to see if I can invite, because I was on a Facebook Live earlier, and it was on my phone though, and you could raise your hand to ask to join the call. Let's see.
See, it says watch videos with your friends. Yes, commenting, but it's not giving me an option. Oh no, that says invite friends to watch.
Yep. I've got that one. Okay. Okay. All right, Jen, give me 2 seconds. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I've tapped on your name. Why don't you give me send me a comment, Marissa. Hi, lady. We are trying to get Marissa on the screen, and we're having a bit of difficulty. Just a second. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can invite you there. No. Let's see. I've done this before, guys, on another thing, and I don't know. Of course, it's always technology is awesome when it works and when you actually know how to work it. Let's see. Un momento.
Usually it tells you if you want to join. I mean, I've seen it on Instagram, but I haven't really been on
right.
Facebook one. But I feel like.
Let me try it on my phone. Let me hop on the phone because I know I've seen it on the phone.
All right.
Let's see. I am live, so are you? Let's see. I've done this before, guys, on another thing, and I don't know. Of course, it's always technology is awesome.
Share to group.
When it works and when you actually know how to work it. Let's see.
Well, duck on it. And right at the bottom of the screen.
This thing, let's see. Nope. That is inserting an emoji. So I'm looking at the instructions on Facebook, and the stuff that they're telling me to click on is like not here. So
Yeah,
I don't.
I don't see anything.
It's crazy. There's like nothing on my end to add. Okay, so what we are going to do while we try to figure this out is, I think, lady Jen, let me know. Can you hear Marissa at all? I think you can hear her. Marissa, say something.
Something.
So I think that they can hear you pretty well. So while I'm trying to figure this out, let me just back up. So for moms who are here and who are going to watch this in the replay, and Marissa, while I'm talking, see if you can figure it out. So for moms who are coming on, who are going to watch it next, one of the things that I really want to do is to make sure that you guys are getting the information you need. So as I said in the welcome video, I want this group to be really about you. And I suffer from the same stuff. And I've said this before, where, you've got lots of talents, and you've got a lot that you can offer, you want to do something, and you just don't know where to start. So what I really want, I want this group to be interactive. Send in questions. If you've got some kind of concerns, if you don't want to put it on the general page and you just want to PM me, that is fine. I'll accept all of your private messages, but what I really want you to do is really think about what you in particular are struggling with. Is it that you have no ideas whatsoever? Is it that you just need help fleshing out some of your ideas? Because I want to make sure, as I'm posting stuff to the group during the week, that I'm making sure that you guys are getting what you need, because I want this to be a support group. And for you moms who already have it together and you figured it out, I want you to help support these ladies. One of the things that people are always saying about women is that we're not supportive and we're always trying to tear each other down. And I want this to be the anti that. And so just if you're a mom and you've already got your business going, you've figured it out, I would love to hear from you on this group. I would love to see you share just some of the things that you've gone through, and some of the things that you've done. And I think that, I guess, a couple of things. First off, even if there's another business mom out there, you can get ideas. And I am learning so much. I actually have a coach. I'm coaching you guys, and I have a coach. And so it's a female, it's a woman, it's a mom. And so the cycle goes around and around. We all need help, and we all need encouragement. And so that's what I really want this group to be. So I invited Marissa on today so that she could tell us about her business. And of course, we're having some technical difficulties getting her on the line. But what I'd like, Marissa, I'm looking at this thing, and have you found anything about how to join Facebook yet, Marissa?
No, I haven't joined it. I went back in, I came back in, but I don't see how to join. I'm glad to see
Okay. So we're still working on it, but I want Marissa to come on here because Marissa's a mom. She homeschools, and she's found her thing. And so, Marissa, if we can't get it on right now, so I've just cranked up the volume in my on my phone. So can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your family? And I see Amber is on there. Amber, Jen, lady, let me know if you guys can hear her. Go ahead, Marissa.
Or anybody knows how to get on Facebook Live, then let us know.
Yes, and if anyone knows how to get on Facebook Live, please let us know. But please comment somebody and let us know if you can hear Marissa. Go ahead, Marissa.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Does that sound okay? Am I too far away?
I think it might be a bit of a delay, Marissa, so give it a second.
Okay.
So just keep talking.
All right. Well, thank you, and I really appreciate you reaching out to me. I think that one of the best things to do is to support people that are around you, and homeschooling is very new to me, so it's nice to have people who actually kind of want to be around you and want to know things about you, because as a mom, it gets very lonely sometimes, especially when you're a stay-at-home mom and you're just trying to figure life out. And I by no means have nothing figured out yet, but I'm trying. So I'm 29 years old. I will be 30 April 17th.
All right.
I have 2 children. Yeah. So I'm going through a little midlife crisis right now. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. But my son Jaden is part of Heritage Homeschool Group, and he is 12. My daughter Jasmine is 10. She'll be 11 May 7th. And then she will join us for middle school. So right now I'm balancing a homeschooler and a public schooler.
Wow.
For lack of better words, right now. My husband and I have been married for 4 years, but we've been together since we were 17. He is the baby daddy, so if everything worked out.
It does sometimes.
Yeah, it's working out.
Well, that's awesome.
About me. I wasn't able to work for a very long time. I was born in Trinidad, so I have some immigration stuff that's on my, has not really been in my favor. So I was kind of forced to do something out of my comfort zone and to figure out how to be creative and how to make money. So I wasn't able to work and wasn't able to drive. And when I was 18, 19, I started a music business with my sister. She already had it, and I just joined in and I started teaching violin. And then I started nannying. But I went to school to be a surgeon, so it wasn't really anything that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But after that depressing time, I guess, when you're trying to figure out, am I worth doing anything? Am I qualified to do anything? I haven't had the experience, and I was just really down. And that's when I started teaching, and I found the love through the children and through my own gifts that I had, but I just really didn't know if I wanted to use that gift, if that makes sense.
It does, Marissa.
So,
And Marissa, I'd like you to really talk about, because I really think that that is something that we as women deal with a lot. I know, I don't think if my husband ever does have any second guessing of himself, he never shows it. But I know that women, we tend to be down on ourselves, and we tend to think that we're not qualified to do anything. And so how did you get past that and just push yourself to say, okay, I know I do have a gift and I'm going to use this gift?
I think it's a daily struggle, because I'm going through it again right now. My husband got a new job, so he was working in collections, and I've just kind of been down on myself, where it was questioning myself again, or am I worthy? Am I lovely? Am I qualified? Am I this? Or I'm just 29. I haven't done anything. I haven't had a resume. I've had 2 real jobs. One of them was basically given to me at a daycare, because my mom worked there, so I guess they were like, oh, we'll let this pregnant 18-year-old work here for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only job I've ever interviewed for is for Home Depot corporate. I work for their daycare, and they welcomed me in, but it wasn't a fit for me. So I think it's a daily struggle, and I think it's a daily, if you guys are into affirmations and stuff like that, just to really talk positively to yourself, because sometimes I can be super negative, and I'm not a negative person by nature, I don't think, or maybe we come out that way, I don't know, but I think it is a daily struggle. And if you don't take the time to address these things every day, then you will get down and you will be depressed. There are days where I don't want to get out of bed, and I'm questioning my momhood and questioning, am I a good friend, am I a good wife, or we're balancing all these hats, or balancing the plates, like the example, when the guy is balancing all these plates, but then they're falling down. And so you get super overwhelmed, and then you feel not good enough again because you just messed up. So I think that I haven't gotten out of that totally, but I think that the goal is to wake up every day with the gratitude and know that I have something to offer, and that all of us have something to offer, and we're all moms, and so there's a lot of things that we do, but we just have to get creative and figure out what is that thing that can make us happy, what is that thing that can make me some money, but not like a chore, because then, it's always going to feel like a chore if I'm just doing something and that, that's not really my gift. So I think you just really have to be in tune with yourself and know, or just figure out what you like, what you want to do. Because I'm starting up a couple businesses right now, and I've kind of gotten away from music, and I want to do something else. So I think you just have to be honest with yourself and where you're at in your life and how you can offer things to the world so that they can get to know you as well.
So Marissa, you made a good point. So, okay, I went to law school for 3 years, and I practiced law for almost 20 years. And, Marissa's talking about how she felt like she didn't have any qualifications because she's young, she had her babies young. And, even though I went to law school and I practiced law for 20 years, had a successful corporate career, I still struggle from the same stuff. And it's endemic, I think, in women. I don't know, but you have to get up every morning. I was just having this conversation with my daughter. You have to get up every morning and say, okay, yes, I can do it. So Marissa, so you started off with music, but then you decided you wanted to change. And so what direction did you go, and why did you choose that direction?
I think my story might be a little complicated. It's a little complex. I was very young, so I had Jaden when I was 18 years old, and I had Jasmine when I was 19. And again, I couldn't work or drive, so I was forced to kind of stay at home with my parents, which was interesting because I'd wanted to leave for so long and, do what my friends were doing, go wherever.
But
I continued school. I started going to Emory University to be a surgeon, and then when that stuff just wasn't working out and the music thing wasn't really, it just wasn't, it's not my baby, it's my sister's baby, but I was just doing it, I was making money, and I just nannied for a long time. And then fast forward to now, my husband and I do real estate investing, and so I'm trying to get into that, so I'll be doing real estate soon, and it's just a switch. I'm changing and evolving every day, so I just have a very supportive husband who kind of helps me do what I feel like is right. And so again, I was going through this rut a few months ago, and feeling that same way until like now I'm doing something else. I'm a personal shopper right now, and I work for a therapist right now, and I buy things for her company. And I think at the place that I was in, I didn't have to make extra money, but I wanted to contribute. I want to contribute, and that's the difficulty of being in marriage sometimes. And where this is my role right now, to be home. I chose this. I wanted to homeschool. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I wanted to have the influence. But at the same time, I didn't realize how much I was losing myself.
Yes.
And when I started this personal shopping thing, and the lady that I'm working for, she was just very confident in me, where I was like, well, I don't know how much I'm going to charge. But she just ended up paying me. And then from there, I just started getting the confidence. And I think that's another thing that goes back to whatever you decide to do. Just go and do it. Go out on a limb. That's where the fruit is. If we don't do it, we're going to be stuck. And we're going to stay stuck, and you're not going to get feedback from anybody else. So when I don't talk to people, all day, or I don't know if you guys are like that, where you might not talk to an older human, older than your children.
Yes.
Some days it gets really difficult. So she has helped me kind of expand that. And so I'm going to turn that into a business, and I'll be hiring people as well. So I'm working on branding and stuff right now. But I'm just taking it as to, again, it's not really what I thought I was ever going to do.
Yeah.
But instead of being down and out about it, or saying, why would I shop for somebody else? I'm just taking it in a very positive way, just thinking that this is just for now, and it's temporary. And then when I'm ready to go to the next thing, then I'm going to go to the next thing.
That's really a good point too there. So I'm wondering how many of you moms who are on here are stay-at-home moms versus how many of you. I know most of the people who are on here are stay-at-home. or work from home, but and have kids at home, because one of the things that, Marissa, sounds like you just kind of fell into this personal shopping. And the thing is, being open to trying different things, and she didn't have any experience in it, but it was an opportunity that fell into her lap, and she just took it. And, she might decide a year from now that she doesn't like it, but she might decide a year from now that, she's working on her branding now, and she might decide a year from now, you know what, I really like this, and I'm going to make this a business. So I think one of the huge takeaways that we can take from her is just do it. Just try something, and it's okay if you end up not liking it. I mean, I hated practicing law like every single year of the 20 years that I practiced, but I tried to do a lot of different things, and in fact, I did a lot of different things, including I had my own private practice, and I was doing well enough to pay a mortgage and the car payment and all that stuff, but I didn't like it, and it can be soul crushing. When you're doing something you don't want to do. I would never recommend someone do something they hate for 20 years. But I did.
And I think that was kind of the place I was in, is that I was home and I knew that I wanted to make a little bit of extra money. And it was really just word of mouth, or if you're into this stuff, like the universe conspires for you and it works for you. So when you put things out there, I am one of those people who believe that you put it out there and somebody will hear it, somebody will come to you if you believe it enough. And I was in this place where I just felt stuck. And I said, what can I do? So one, where I'm home with my kid. Two, I don't really have to apply for anything. And it was kind of that lazy, it's like, you want something, but you don't really want to do the work for it. Like the pre-work, pre-labor for it.
Yeah.
So I just was like, putting myself out there, but talking to people again. I kind of closed up and I wasn't talking to people anymore, because I get ashamed sometimes when I'm around people and they're doing all this grand stuff, and I just kind of, again, I downplay myself, and I don't think that what I'm doing is good enough. But in the grand scheme of everything, us raising our children is like the best job, biggest job ever. Because when I die, I'm leaving them here with y'all. So I hope that they're going to be great citizens, because I'm not going to be around. And so I had to really, really come back to terms and go back to the basics and say, hey, like, I'm a good mom, and it's okay because I'm more than a mom. I was more than a mom before, and when they leave me, like, I need to be able to do something. So when this opportunity came about, it was really by a chance. Somebody just asked me and said, hey, I saw or heard that you might be looking for something. How do you feel about this? And it turned into a business, and now other people want to get in on it. And it's easy stuff like when I buy things for their company, and so it's like going to Costco, which we all know that we go to Costco at least once a week.
Yeah, right.
Or Sam's or whatever,
right.
Or the grocery side. I go to Costco and I buy stuff, and it's very, very simple. But again, the more that I thought about it, and the more I spoke to the lady that I worked for, it was, girl, make this into a business. So it changed my mindset from, I'm just doing this to make money, to, whoa, maybe I am helping people, but I'm just helping them in a way that I never thought about. And sometimes you don't realize the impact that you have on other people, whether it's a service, because sometimes we kind of look down on service jobs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what honestly, how I was looking at it, like, no, I don't know if I really want to do this. I don't want to go to Walmart, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm doing it anyway, but now I'm getting $200, $300 a week, going somewhere for one day.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
I had to switch that mindset into thinking, like, not that I'm better than that, but that, I'm not better than that.
Yeah, I totally get it. So Lady has asked a question. How long were you without work before you went back into the field, and what was that experience like? Lady, can you clarify who that question is to? Is it to me or is it to Marissa? And then we can answer that question in better detail. But one of the things that you just mentioned, Marissa, is, kind of speaking it to the universe, and, whether you're religious or spiritual, I think there's something inside of you that once you put yourself out there, things have a way of happening. And I was just talking to my daughter about this. She's down on herself. She had a tennis tournament and she lost her last match. She played really well, phenomenally, but she's down on herself because she lost her last match. And I told her, you can't let that one setback define you. And I think I so try to keep that in mind, and I share my own struggles with my daughter so that she can understand she's not alone. She's not the only person going through this, and I know she's in this house somewhere listening. And so I'm glad that she can hear other people's experience, because as women, this is why we need the support of other women. But one of the things I really like that you said is, yes, getting out of the house and talking to people.
Yeah.
When you're with your kids all day, your kids, love them to death, but your kids are your kids, and being able to get out and talk to people can make you not feel so isolated. My schedule is so packed. I've just driven out an entire tank of gas in like 4 days. And, really, I would not have an opportunity to talk to people. I'm an introvert and I really don't want to talk to people, especially when I'm out. But I found that if I just put myself out there and talk to people, I feel better. I do feel better. And it helps me to remember, actually I was somebody, and then I still am. Totally to your point, Marissa. Okay, so Marissa, lady said the question was for you. So how long were you without work before you went back into the field, and what was that experience like?
All right, just to piggyback on what you said, I think it's good that you talk to the kids about that, because I try to do the same thing. I think when I was growing up, I never saw that kind of struggle. I never saw that, and so I was thinking,
that's right.
Oh, well, why am I not living up to my parents' expectations? And that follows you.
That's right.
I had already had abandonment issues. I was adopted. That's a whole nother story. But when as parents, we do want our kids not to suffer, and we don't want that. But the reality of the thing is that they're going to. And so my job as the parent, or what I feel like my parenting style is that I'm just trying to guide them through it. I don't think there's a good or a bad or whatever, because everybody's different. So my judgment against you, I can't really have that judgment against you, because I don't know what you've been through, and I don't know why. It's perspective,
Right.
and I think that it's good that you talk to the kids, because at the age that I'm at and the way I was struggling, I needed my kids to know that they're not going to be able to get everything, and the things that they do want, that they just have to work for. And if they don't have that mindset, then sometimes we can get lazy, and we're content on where we're at. And I don't want them to be a normal, just regular. I'm trying to raise some extraordinary adults.
Right.
Just to piggyback off of what you said.
Yes, raising adults. Raising adults, totally right.
Yeah. How long were you without work before you went back into the field? How long?
So I think to clarify, Marissa could not work because Marissa's from Trinidad. So for a while she couldn't work because she didn't have permission to work in the country.
Basically my social was stamped not valid for work. So when I was 16 getting ready with all my friends to go work at Six Flags and whatever, that's when it was like, oh, honey, you can't work right now. And the process is very long. That's for another video, so we won't talk about that. So I only, when I was pregnant, got that job at the daycare, but it wasn't what I wanted to do, because like I said, I went to school to be a surgeon. I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. So it wasn't what I wanted to do, but I was pregnant, and I got the opportunity to work with the kids. I've grown up around childcare. My mom was the director, but I never wanted to do that. That's maybe just rebellious little girl. I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe just trying to get so far away from the kids, and I never even wanted the kids, and booyah, I got two. So God has a funny way of working things out. So I never really worked. Like I said, the only place I was at that daycare, and then a few years later, I did apply for Home Depot corporate, and I worked there for a year-ish, but it wasn't my cup of tea. I think because I was working for myself for so long. that it's just not
Sure.
what I wanted, and the childcare was not what I wanted there. And so I left, and I have not been in the workplace, in the work field. So yeah, I don't really have that much experience with others in the work.
In the workforce. Okay. So Marissa, I really love the way, you've been really open, and, because this stuff is real. And that's why I really wanted this to be a mom's group, because, it's one thing if you are, because I follow some of the women gurus, and I follow some of the men too, but the men have a different experience because they're men. And even the women who have not yet had children, or who have chosen not to have kids, it's totally different when you've got, Marissa, while I'm talking, lady has sent a response.
I see it.
Okay. And so it's just a different level when you're a mom.
Yeah.
So that's why I really wanted this group to be about moms. Go ahead, Marissa.
So lady said, it's often difficult for moms that take off several years to raise their children. After being away from the work field for several years, mothers grow fearful of going back and worry about applications resumes. So I think because I'm on a different side of that spectrum, is that I never had to worry about applications and resumes and stuff like that. So my pressure wasn't like, oh, I need to go fill this stuff out and need to do that. I knew that there were things that I wanted to do and I needed to do that, but I think that we can't grow fearful of things that way, because we're just people. And the person next to you is just a person, and the person that you're applying with, they're just a person. So when we grow fearful, it's like, what can they do? Say no? And if they say no, then I'm going to go somewhere else because that wasn't meant for me. And so I think when we get into that headspace, we need to be a little bit or a lot bit more confident, because we're not. And we're not taught that way. I mean, if we can go back to how I was raised, I wasn't taught to speak up. I was taught to kind of stand in the background.
That's right.
I'm an introvert really by nature, but I test it by being an extrovert when I'm outside, because I don't want people to ask me what's wrong. Like, I hate when people are like, what's the matter? Are you okay? You don't have on makeup today. Are you fine? Yeah, I'm good. I'm just struggling a little bit.
Well,
so I don't like to be that kind of person. So I think, again, you just have to really practice on yourself first, because there's nothing to be scared of. If you did something back in the day and you want to do that again, then I'm sure that you can do it even better now, because now you've had mom experience, which makes us even better. So I think, again, the difference between the men and the women like that is that they have a little bit more of an ego boost than we do, maybe a little bit more of that testosterone, but we got it. It's in us. And if we can go and we can parent little people, then I think that we can go back into the workplace. And again, it might not be, I think you can't get stuck on what you used to do. Sometimes it's not that was for that time and for that place. Now we're moving forward. It's been years later. So your niche or your thing is probably not the same thing. And it's just time to do change. And we're not really, some of us don't like change. And that's honest. I don't want to go do something else, but it's the thought. We need to think more about it.
That's a really wise response for a young lady, Marissa. I can speak to that lady because, like I said, I practice law. I haven't done any legal work in probably 4 years. I did maybe 3. And so, it's a huge thing because I've met when I'm talking to people, because one of the things that I do, for those of you who don't know, I think everybody on here probably does, but I speak at conventions across the country. And so one of the things that I do workshops on is working while homeschooling. And so I've had so many women coming up to me afterwards, come to my booth, who are concerned about, they want to find some income, but they don't know how. So I start talking to them, and I'll talk to women. She's got a computer science degree. She was in management. She was, the manager at the local Walmart. I talk to these women who have stuff that they did before they had the kids, but after a couple of years at home, all of a sudden they feel like they don't have any qualifications for anything. And that's kind of one of the things that I really want to address in this group, and is reminding us and helping us find that lady who used to be there, who's still there, but we probably have forgotten about her. Realistically, like Marissa said, I'm in a different place. I was making 6 figures when I left the workplace. If I wanted to go and find a job right now after having not actually physically worked at a place for 7+ years, it's the likelihood is very slim that I would go immediately back into practice of law at that income level.
Right.
But I'm okay with that because I will have spent these last few years doing something that was far more important. And so I don't have any doubt that I'll be able to support myself. But, will I be able to go back into that exact same thing at that exact same level of income? Probably not. However, as Marissa said, I'm at a different point in my life. I've gained different skills. I'm doing different things. And so I can achieve that income and even exceed it doing something else, as long as I don't become paralyzed by fear. And so, yes, there's a huge level of fear, lady, with people leaving the workplace, but you have to be creative. And so much of what Marissa said is right on point. Go ahead, Marissa.
Yeah. I think the fear for me, I can only vouch for myself, is that even now, or even when my husband, let me just backtrack a little bit. My husband was working in collections for the past 7 years. I got a job offer to do relocation in the city. And that's basically Keisha Lance Bottoms is displacing some people there to build some better places for affordable housing and stuff like that for the elderly and stuff in the old Fourth Ward. When I got the job offer, my first reaction was like, oh, heck no, I can't do that. Like, I am not qualified. I don't think I can commit for this 2 to 3 year thing. But the biggest fear I think that came to my mind is like, what about the kids? And I think that sometimes our first thing is like, what about the kids? It might not even be the situation itself. We might actually really enjoy something like that. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been mom for so long. How am I supposed to jump back in and then neglect my kids? And I use the word neglect because that's how we think about it. But that's not necessarily true. It's just that we're taking a different role, and we have to know that our kids are going to be fine. If we've been doing what we said that we've been doing, we're influencing how we think that we're supposed to. And I think that was my big fear. I was like, no, right away. And then when I thought about it more, I referred my husband because I knew he was looking for something new, and we've been in the real estate business for a couple years now, investing. And when he got the job, not gonna lie, I might have been a little bit bitter. And it took for him to say, hey, it took for him to point it out to me, because I would ask him how his day was, and he'd be like, do you really want to know? Because you sound a little bitter. And that's just real stuff, because I didn't think that I was really thinking about it like that. But I put those feelings on for myself. I could have said yes and gone for the job, but things were gonna have to change. And I think for us to make that next step, you have to be willing for your stuff to change, because you can't think that you're gonna go back to work or do something else for yourself and that everything is going to be fine. No, Dad is going to have to do something. Somebody's going to have to carpool somewhere. It can't just be me.
Yeah.
So I think it was a lot of that fear of like, man, I've been mom. This is my job, what I do. I can be in my pajamas like right now. If y'all see me from the waist up, I'm dressed, but down I got pajamas on. So I think it really, that fear for me was, what am I going to do about my kids? I'm homeschooling.
Yeah.
Even me about to go into real estate right now, I thought about that. But I'll think about that when I get to it. I noticed that I overanalyze a lot. And it's just not good for us. And again, we have to change the conversation. And we just need to be real about it. No, I'm scared because I don't know where my kids are going to be, and husband has not been around them like that, like I have.
Right.
And we have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with the fact that somebody else is going to be in their lives. It's okay. But it took me up until a few weeks ago to really, really be honest about how I felt about that. And that it wasn't really the job. It was me being a mom. And I'm kind of scared not to be a mom. And, you know, like, not to be a mom and not to be needed in that position anymore.
Yes. Yeah. I find I have that too. Especially when I go out.
The mom guilt is real.
Yes, the mom guilt is very real. All right. So just to wrap this up, Marissa, can you give me, and if anybody has any more questions, comments, please go ahead and put them out there as we're wrapping up, and this will be in replay. Marissa, do you have any kind of final thoughts that you'd like to share with some of the moms who are trying to find their thing, whether it's finding a job or starting a business? What's kind of your parting shot to those moms?
My last thing I would say, only because I'm going through this now, is that you have to learn how to fall in love with yourself again. And you need to make yourself a priority. And what I realized in my walk is that I never made myself a priority. I had my kids very young, and I guess the times where I could have been selfish, I was more selfless, and I was all about the kids. And I can't expect to get love from other people or to get jobs or get opportunities if I don't feel that way myself. And I would just say that you really need to work on yourself, and we really need to do that more. And I think that will really help anything that you want to do in your life. And it sounds easy and cliche, but it's not about the job. It's about you, and it's about me, and it's about us, and it's about how we can do this thing called life every day, but be confident in ourselves, because we're just not where we think we need to. So my only set of advice would just to be to fall in love with yourself again, or for the first time. Like for me, I love to go hiking. I love to do outdoorsy stuff. I like to paint. And I'm getting back into that, and I'm unapologetic about it. And no matter what age you are, like I said, I'm about to be 30. It doesn't matter where you are, how long you've been out of work or whatever. Just find something that you like and that you want to do. It is that freaking simple. Do what you love to do, and everybody else will fall into place. I promise. I've seen it happening. And I know that it's hard, but girls, y'all got it. And just love yourself. It sounds easy, but it is really hard, especially when you have never had to love yourself like that before.
Marissa,
that's all I got.
Marissa, thank you so much. I'm sorry, guys, that the video didn't work. All right, Marissa, I'm going to go ahead and turn this phone off. Thank you so much. But sorry that the video didn't work, guys. I will figure out how to get that to work by next week. So you're not just looking at my face sitting here. But I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, make sure you put them, put them on the page, or direct message me if you don't want it to be out there. And we'll make sure that each week that we do these calls, that we are answering your questions, and we're helping you get to where you need to be. And finally, let's see, the last 2 weeks, if you haven't been on here, the last 2 weeks, if you're somebody who really wants to do something, but you haven't figured out what you want to do, the last 2 weeks were homework. I have homework every week, every Monday. First week was basically make a list of all of your qualifications, the things that you feel qualified to do. There's probably more. Ask your husband, ask your friend, all the things, your education, everything that you are qualified to do, your experience, your volunteer work. Second week's homework was kind of make a list of the things that you like to do, because what we're going to do is try to figure out how we're going to combine your qualifications with something that you really like to do. And we're going to put those together and work on figuring out whether we're going to do a job for you, whether you want a job or whether you want a business. So I'm going to start a thread here and just post kind of what you think your quals are and what you would like to do. And then on next week's call, we're going to go through, whoever posts, we're going to go through And we're going to talk about some of the things you could possibly do with those, with your qualifications and the things that you like to do. I'm going to go through every single person who posts. We will go through each one, and I invite people who are doing their thing now to comment on those. But next Monday, noon, we're going to go through each and every one of those, and we're going to help you get started on figuring out that it for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but I'll have them worked out by next week. Have a great week, and I'll be posting stuff throughout the week, so come back and join me and see what I've got up. Thanks.